video is a follow-up to the previous video I made about Nex_. Enjoy. 2020 has been a year filled with tons of crazy and unexpected events, such as the COVID-19 pandemic, Black Lives Matter protests, celebrity deaths, and multiple wildfires sprouting across parts of Australia and California. This year has definitely had a huge impact on many people across the globe, and it's not only affecting the world, but social media as well. In the past couple of months, many YouTubers have been exposed or quote-unquote cancelled for controversial stuff that they either did in the past or very recently. Shane Dawson, an iconic figure in the community that has been relevant and had tons of fans for a decade, was exposed for doing skits involving blackface, sexualizing children, and making jokes involving pedophilia. Since then, his career took a nosedive and is now losing thousands of subscribers every day. Another example is Minilad, who was exposed for sending nudes and sexual tweets to minors. In other words, he showed his Minilad to mini lads. Another example is Zero, a well-known Smash Brothers YouTuber. Him and a few others in the Smash community were exposed for multiple counts of sexual assault against minors. Okay, can you guys stop being pedophiles for like 5 seconds? I mean, it's not that hard. Basically, many creators got exposed for some horrible cases and their careers got wiped away in an instant. Oh yeah, and we can't forget about Nex_. I don't even need to explain what he got exposed for. There's this dude named rEactor that made a video about him, so shout out to that guy. He takes like 26 trillion years to upload, but it's worth it in the end, so go subscribe to him. Also, shout out to Mex. Why? I don't know, just because he asked nicely, but he makes good content too. More like Mex_.
I get it.
No! A pattern that occurs with people on the internet getting exposed is that they're usually exposed by other people. That way, the stuff that the accuser is saying starts off as allegations, so the person being accused has a chance to redeem themselves, or just confirm that all the allegations are true, thus having their career and respect from others revoked. But what are the chances that you've come across a creator that exposed themselves rather than having allegations made toward them? Possibly rarely, but it does happen from time to time, especially a few months ago, and it all comes down to one person who was once a legendary icon in the YTP community with tons of fans, but is now a shell of himself. This is the story of Trudermark's unexpected downfall. But before we talk about exactly what he did, we need a proper introduction about him, and we must go back to the way beginning. Long before his demise, Trudermark was a well-known YTP creator with millions of views across his videos with a peak of 130,000 subscribers, before the controversy of course. He even had a cult fan base attracting hundreds of thousands, dare say millions of viewers on any of his videos even if it wasn't YTP related. I discovered his channel around 2012 when I first saw his infamous Gumball YTP back when YouTube looked like this and his channel looked like this. You can almost smell the nostalgia. He started making YTPs back in 2010, and by 2013, he was gaining a huge audience and was already one of the biggest YTPers in the community. His videos ranged from using sources from SpongeBob to The Amazing World of Gumball to Steven Universe and many other sources. Of course, his SpongeBob and Gumball YTPs are his most popular ones and definitely boosted his popularity within the community and even got him the chance for some temporary sponsorships, such as being partnered with the channel Frederator Network and becoming a moderator for the game Club Penguin Rewritten. By 2018, he was now one of the most successful YTPers in history, with most of his YTPs gaining hundreds of thousands of views, with his older work becoming cult classics. As a result, he was friends with other popular YTPers, such as Emperor Lemon, CS188, Jimmy Davis, Jallerbo, TheThings1, CoolCat001100, great name, and many others. It has become clear that Truder has now implemented himself into YTP history, with many people taking inspiration from him and building up a cult fanbase throughout his work of YTPs, YTPMVs, Twitter memes, and his failed Truder show that only lasted one episode. But nonetheless, the dude created a big reputation for himself for many years and paved the way for many YTPers and changed the future for YTP itself. But after nearly a decade of making this content, Truder called it quits and announced his retirement on the 7th of July of 2019. In his retirement letter, he states that he has lost interest in making content related to YouTube poop and would like to focus on making awareness videos and video essays. You know, like the one you're watching right now. Since mid-2018, his love and interest for YTP has been decreasing, and at this point, he no longer has the mentality to make videos on the channel in general. Although he was working on a fairly popular project known as Cursed Commercials, a series featuring commercials on ads that are strange or bizarre, hence the term cursed, Truder lost interest in that too, and has now moved ownership to other people. He now feels that after so many years of constantly making YTPs over and over again, all that hard work has now put a toll on him, and at this point, he is now making content that people are interested in and pulling an income from it, which he is pulling big bucks from, but at the same time he is following his fans instead of following his gut and doing what he really wants to do. He plans on now making videos on another channel about spirituality and existential topics, but we have not gotten any of that new content yet. Maybe he lost interest in that too. But he has provided us with some unfinished YTPs on his main channel, including his Undertale YTP that he's been working on for almost 2 years on and off, even taking up 1 terabyte of hard disk drive storage. Since then, he has abandoned his channel and has now moved on to using Twitter instead, which is where the true downfall of his reputation begins. During the Black Lives Matter protests, users on Twitter were given a platform to express their feeling toward the movement and advertise multiple campaigns to be signed for justice of the victims. However, Trudermark did nothing of the sort. Instead, he tweeted that the Black Lives Matter protests were just quote-unquote staged and made up by George Soros, a billionaire who is rumored to have started said protests back in 2013, but has never been confirmed by multiple sources. So Truder was just embarrassing himself the whole time in front of his friends and fanbase. He then deleted his account shortly after on the same day. He eventually did reactivate the account 10 days later, but at this point, many people were viewing him as a clown that believes in stupid conspiracy theories. However, this whole conspiracy theory era was just the calm before the storm. Not many people were aware of what was about to happen next, but an unexpected turn of events was about to take place. Thursday, July 2nd, 2020, 12:30 p.m., the exact moment Trudermark's career officially ended. On his Facebook page, he made 2 posts exposing himself and admitting to the mistakes he had done in the past. In the first post, he states that a few years ago, he asked someone to send him a nude picture that was accidentally sent to the person Truder was contacting. However, the person in the nude was 16 years old and Truder was in his early 20s. He even told us the full name of the person in the picture, which will not be shown for obvious reasons. He says that he regrets ever doing that and has apparently quote-unquote changed since then and will expose all the bad guys that did these nasty actions towards minors. Starting with exposing yourself. Way to go. He's even concerned about the Club Penguin Rewritten staff and if his actions will affect their community. Oh come on, like causing drama in a community based on a video game should be the last thing you should be concerned about. But you're one of the mods, so apparently it matters. How about all the hundreds of thousands and even millions of people that watched your videos and actually looked up to you and saw you as not just a good YTPer, but an absolute legend in the entire community? Do you care about any of your fans at all? Well, I guess not, since instead of making a video about the situation, he uploaded a video about human trafficking. Still on about those epic conspiracy theories that are totally real and not just lies made up by some random couple all because they bought some furniture from Wayfair. Surely that's more important than you trying to see a naked 16-year-old boy. Nah buddy, that's not how it works. We ain't forget. You can't just switch topics like that and expect us to love you again like you love seeing those little boys. All that respect you had is now gone out the window and is not coming back. Oh yeah, and great job on disabling ratings and comments on the new video. It's not like we can move the conversation to the enabled comments section on the video before that. He actually disabled comments on this video too on October 13th, but re-enabled them a few days later. Of course, because of this, people moved the conversation to the video before that one as well. Didn't really think that one through, huh? Oh, but it gets even worse. There's a part 2. The sequel nobody asked for. In this post, he states that this story is his deepest regrets. Can't be anything that bad, right? Well, he states that about 5 years ago, he was dating this girl and one day she decided to invite him to her house. They were lying in bed and Truder decided to have sexual intercourse with her, but she refused, and instead of respecting her decision, he resorted to rape. Well, attempted rape, but it technically still counts, and it's just as bad as actually doing it. Way to go, man. You went from becoming a successful YTPer to becoming a pedophile and a rapist. What an epic career you have. He eventually posted these disappointing statements on his Twitter page a day later on the 3rd of July, but his audience were already informed about it by a user named the Geobite, including screenshots of conversations with Truder before he exposed himself, saying he doesn't want this news to be public since it will ruin his reputation and he doesn't want his fans to know how much of a scumbag he really is. But of course, it had to come out at some point, because if it didn't, he would have never faced any consequences and would have to live with guilt for the rest of his life. It is possible for people to change their ways and become better for themselves, however, it seems like Truder doesn't want to change for the better. First of all, why did you first announce the news on Facebook when you only had a couple hundred friends there privately when you had 12,000 followers on Twitter? Looks like you were trying to let only people in your circle know what you did instead of your whole fanbase being informed. It doesn't take a smart person to know that news like this will spread like wildfire and people will branch out to other social media platforms and talk about it. Might as well tell everybody. Second of all, instead of making a response/apology video, you decided to cover up the situation with, yet again, human trafficking.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
At this point, your fans only care about what you did and what you'll do to change that behavior. You're just adding fuel to the fire this way. Maybe Truder did more stuff that he's not telling us. Who knows, he probably murdered someone or has children in his basement. He definitely has more dirt on him and is clearly not telling us everything, since other people have shared stories of Truder and their experiences with him. Twitter user Flying Pringles said that Truder flirted with him through private messaging when he was still a minor a couple years ago. Trudermark was 21 years old at the time. Twitter user and well-known YTP Virt and mashup artist Skelligore said that Truder and Perry, a 17-year-old Italian girl, used to send each other heart emojis through private messaging when she was 14. Trudermark was 20 years old at the time. Although these claims are a bit vague due to the original private messages being unavailable as of right now, maybe if they enabled the direct messaging feature I would have gotten the evidence, they do seem plausible and wouldn't be surprising if these events actually happened. Truder, I thought you said you were going to tell us everything! Obviously he's willing to hide all of it just to keep some of his respect in the community, but I guess that doesn't matter anymore. Unfortunately, there are some people out there that still support him and say that the people hating on him and exposing him are just part of cancel culture. How is it cancel culture if he literally said that he's a pedophile and a rapist? It would have made sense if it was just an allegation made up by the woman Truder tried to rape, thus trying to end his career. Everyone would have believed it, everyone would have hated him, then Truder would have made a video saying that the allegations are fake by providing evidence, then his career would be restored. That's cancel culture. Unfortunately, Trudermark's case in real life is not an example of cancel culture, and no allegations were involved. He did this to himself and was pretty confident in doing so. To the people that still support him after all this, just a reminder that his career is in a bunch of shambles, and he has zero chance of regaining all that respect ever again, but oh well, keep supporting your quote-unquote idol that loves little boys and raping women. Such an inspiration.
And here's Trudermark at the first Thanksgiving. I want to have sex with children, pilgrims.
So yeah, that's the Trudermark situation for ya. All in all, this dude built up a huge reputation for himself in the YTP community for many years and destroyed it all within a few hours. Nobody could have ever predicted this happening. I mean, yeah, the Black Lives Matter and Wayfair tweets weren't really that surprising to many. Ever since his spiritual awakening a few years ago, he's been acting strange on social media and would like to dive into the conspiracy theory wormhole. That was pretty obvious, but was anybody expecting him to be a pedo? Sure, we got Nex underscore, Millie Bays, and a few others taken care of in the community, but Trudermark? Out of all people? Nah. Unfortunately, yes. While many were shocked about this news, others had plenty of jokes to make. Of course, a few videos have been made about this situation, however, it seems like Kurosity's video is filled with tons of information and he takes the topic very seriously, unlike others.
I used to think your poops were funny, but now it's something that is nothing short of
Cringe.
And I'm sorry to say this, but your YouTube poops are probably going in the trash now. And now you probably might lose subscribers because of this.
Yeah, you get the point. It's been around half a year since he exposed himself. Where is Trudermark nowadays? Well, he's not really around here anymore. He abandoned his YouTube account shortly after making that excuse of a video, and his Twitter account is gone forever, being more than 30 days since he deactivated it back in August of last year. However, Twitter user UNAVAILABLE noticed that he was active in Roblox months after the controversy. Ironically, Roblox is also known for its fair share of pedophilia since the average user on the site is under 12 years of age, so who knows what he's been doing in those servers. Also, there was this strange discovery that occurred a few months after the controversy. Twitter user Babyboy Logie, also known as a guy that loves pooping, noticed that in his playlist consisting of his favorite YTPMVs, not only was there one from Truder, but right under it was one from Nex underscore. Now what are the chances of that happening? And no, this was not done on purpose since he stated that he hasn't updated the playlist in years and he never rearranged the videos to certain positions, so this was just an ironic coincidence. However, it would have been even better if a Millie Bays video was under that one as well, since these guys in particular are the three musketeers when it comes to being pedophiles in the YTP and YTPMV community. Guess it goes to show how unexpected these things are. You'd never know that your favorite online creator is actually a bad guy or girl in real life until last minute. But that's pretty much all there is to say about the Trudermark situation. Now, I did say that I was going to upload more videos in 2020, but that never happened. I guess my only excuse for that is 2020 bad. Yep, that's it. But here's the graph and here's the updated video playlist. Who knows when I'll finish these projects. Maybe I won't, maybe I will. You'll never know. But here's to a great 2021, and I'll see you guys next time.